when you open your mouth and nothing comes out. So hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't see any raised hands, so that's good. Everybody looks like they're good to go. So today we have a different format than what I had been doing. Over many months, we covered the death meditation, which, very interestingly enough, two other people started teaching right after I completed that. And so I think it's kind of like in the air. It's very exciting, because if we can have a good death meditation, it makes our life so much richer. We can really live our life to its fullest because we know what seeds to plant. So, in fact, we can transform our death at that time. And then it's not a big, scary thing. And that's what we talked about for many months. And then I was thinking about, well, what else can Blue Sky Friends offer to the community and to the world community? And one of the things that we've said that we're setting out to do is to be able to work within our elder community, to be able to serve our elders in many different ways. And our elders are at different stages. Like you could call me an elder. I'm in that category of age-related people. And I'm very functional. And then there are other elders who need a little more help. And then there's all different levels going up to people who are homebound or within some type of housing situation where they're cared for all the time. And of course, it's not just elders that need assistance. There are people of all different ages who need assistance. But today we're going to focus on elders, and I've invited one of my Sedona friends who have been working with elders in the Sedona community to be here today and share with us her experience of working with elders in an assisted living situation. I invited another person, but you know how these things go. I didn't hear back from them. So Savan Cohen, who has been visiting the Sedona Winds independent living or assisted living, is here with us today. And I'd also like to open this discussion up because I think it's something that all of us can do in our own communities. And what sorts of things are available to you in your community that you could help develop and help serve the elders in your community. So I'd like to open the discussion up after Savan shares her experience, and maybe we'll have some questions for her as well. Okay. Good morning, Savan.
Good morning, Venerable Gail. Um, the venerated one, you were so excellent. Um, Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am so incredible. I'm also in my first vocalizations today, and I'm just so touched to see these beautiful faces showing up for Blue Sky Friends, that means to me that there's really compassion in your hearts if there's um, resonance with what Blue Sky Friends is doing, and that moves me, that moves me deeply, and it's a joy. Like Gail said, I have had a glorious opportunity to be in my community and be with people who have lived the cycle of life in the outer world and now are retreating back into what might be another life. I don't know where they're going to go next. Um, and it is one of the most profound things I do, and one of the most, maybe the most, one of the most joyful things that I do. You know, we talk about until we reach a certain point, we're never doing anything actually for anybody else. And I can wholeheartedly, like, I I don't do this for them. I do it for them, but what gets me out of my house and out the door is because this is something that I love to do. I love to hang out at the assisted living center with my friends there. It's it's fun. It's a joy. It's a blast every time I go. And it opens my heart and it warms my heart. And if I was feeling in a hard way in the morning and then I go there, I leave a very happy person. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience, and I'll tell you more about it. Um, Sedona Winds is the name of the assisted living community that I go to for reference. If I say Sedona Winds going forward, that's what I mean is the community center where these people live. And this, Gail said that it was an assisted living center, which means that these are people who can't live in their own homes anymore. They need more help to get through a day than they can't do it on their own anymore. And it's not only because they're old. Sometimes it's because life happened to them in a way that they just can't do it anymore. And there's one tragic case where a man has some kind of dementia or Alzheimer's, and his wife just doesn't want him at home anymore. She can't deal with the repetition, and so she and from this perspective, seeing each one and being with each one helps me in my practice profoundly. Each resident, each person is in such an obviously different state of mind, state of body, and it to me it's obvious and it's um noticeable. And in my practice of being trying to be what everybody needs, these kind of in that room, it's kind of an extreme example. And it helps me practice seeing the differences in people. And that's a treasure that I didn't find in in a world of healthy young able-bodied people. the differences in, what am I doing for work, or what is my health like in a state where I'm probably going to recover, or it's not changing so much. It didn't trigger it for me like it triggers it with with the elderly. Um, and priceless. It's called. So I made a little slideshow just so you could have a visual of what I'm saying as I'm saying it. I never shared from this app before, so I hope it works okay. But this is just, you just see the videos, see my friends, see us going there, and 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 get a flavor, the visual flavor of what this is. Now, I will also say, often I go there by myself, but when there are people out of town in Sedona, and lately some people in town also like to come with me. Um, it's a fun thing to do with friends. It's a fun thing for people from out of town to join in doing when they're here. So you'll see people you might recognize, or um, just to give you a sense of what's going on in these photos. And when I go by myself, I almost never take photos. It's just, for me, it's about the presence and the connection. Um, and but when the outer towners come, it's just too cute. I have to take out my camera. So here, let me try this. I think I did it. Then, okay, I think that's what I need. Okay,
We can see it. Looks good.
you can see it, okay? Yay. Um, okay, but now I need my notes, and that's not showing me that. But that's okay. I have a backup plan. Um, so I, we have a common thread that brings us into this group, and that's because we have an understanding of the world, and we are developing ourselves and our tools for using these understandings of the world to do very great things. And we have so many gifts, so many precious, pre- cherished gifts um, that we can share, and this place is a place that they really don't have access to anything that doesn't walk in their door. And so I I find it so important to walk in that door and give them something new. There there are other people, like there's a woman, that's bingo, if you know that game. This woman who's standing up in this photo, she's their activities director. And she walks in that door and she brings them activities, and she brings she brings me. But they're kind of stuck, and they're compromised. And to me, it's when I see that, and they don't hide it. um, they're so grateful to me when I walk, when I come in, they say, "You're always welcome here. We love seeing you." Um, and sometimes they make some harder to digest remarks about their condition, which opens my heart and and inspires me to keep bringing myself back. Um, you know, I when I see a lot of different people coming into that space, and sometimes it's hard to see people relate with my friends because they think that they should be like treat them like they're children, and they're not. To me they're not children. They are, but they're not. They are people who once stood very tall and once did very great things, and and now are being humbled by the nasty, nasty process of what happens in life. And you guys were just doing a death meditation, and so I'm sure you got quite related to how that goes. And this is a place where getting quite related to how that goes is so available. Um, and so I I love looking at them as great people who are actually only still living in their greatness. The stories they tell, I've been doing this for kind of a while, and the stories they tell are the same ones, and they're the stories of their greatness. And if that's what they're bringing forward, who am I to tell them that they're a child and talk to them like in a, "Hi, how are you doing today?" I can't. It hurts my heart because they're so humble, and they have to be. They don't, they're vulnerable, and it's a beautiful thing. Um, and the stories that they tell, I relate to them. They tell me about life, they tell me about love, they tell me about accomplishments and their joys and the really cool things they did. Like that's Sharon, she doesn't see anymore. And her piece of paper is blank. She can't draw, but she comes and she talks about the audiobooks that she listens to because she still exposes her mind to new ideas. And that's Shirley, and she's a hoot. One day I came in, and Shirley says, "I gotta go get something." And she runs to her room and she comes back. She's still very mobile. I walked in early once and she was exercising. And she goes to her room and she comes right back and she hands me a handful of, I still have some, these. And she says, "Hide them." And I put them in my purse and I put them on my counter because it's too fun to see every day. And and so and so they're so great. And I love to imagine them independent and healthy, and like when they were young and strong and vital. This is Bella. She talks about her topics, how long she's lived in Sedona Winds, her 4 children, that she used to pack parachutes for the Air Force. And that's her big deal. And that's really all she cares about anymore. And I love it and I love it in her. And they say that a good teacher never never gets tired of telling the same thing over and over again. And I think a good student never gets tired of listening to the same thing over and over again. And it helps me learn love and build compassion. Um, and it helps me listen deeply. I don't ever make a plan. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I come up with ideas or things that I'd like to do with my friends. This was an Easter party. They brought the goats. The animals you see are there for the Easter party. Um, sometimes I make plans, but I toss it out the window when I walk in, and and it helps me in my in my practice of, again, trying to be for people what others need. And I read the room, I read the energy, I do a little kind of chit chat before we start the formal gathering, and that's a very supportive for me to, you know, not have to rest on my plan and to be able to develop myself to say, okay, I I I had a good idea, but what do you need? And then I try to bring them that, and instead of, my idea of what you need. And that's another way I develop myself through being with my friends at Sedona Winds. Um, and you never know what's going to come up. You never know. Like, um, they have televisions, they watch the news, they listen to what's going on, and again, they have their community and they have their families that they talk to on the phone sometimes. And but besides that, they're not going to the grocery store, they're not doing their activities or running into people, so they're not getting too many other opinions. And so one day we were in this, pretty lighthearted conversation, and Sharon, the blind woman, walks in, and she says, "So we're going to talk about what's going on in Iran?" And just flops it on the table, and okay, here we go. And it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a fresh every time. Um, and a growth opportunity. So this is a time when this Chinese woman, has this very special guitar that's not complicated to play. And um, she passed it around to the residents, and each one got to play the guitar. That's Mel. Poor guy lost a daughter when she was young, and his wife, and he's a sad man, and he loves a lot of help. Um, and so this beautiful Chinese woman, she loves to come with. I think she's also started going to senior centers in China, and she brings this guitar, and you see the smiles on their faces when they've got this cool thing in their hands, and they look so cool. And just playing these couple buttons, I think she's pointing to lights on top, like the guitar's lighting up and showing them what buttons to play. And if it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or songs they know, you look at these smiles of success and accomplishment and doing something new and fun. Um, it's exciting and super fun. And this is my friend Arlene. And oh my goodness, Arlene changed my life. When I first started going, you see her hands have gloves on them. I don't remember what the diagnosis was. And really she didn't talk about it very much. But you could see she lived every single instant of her life in a lot of pain from those hands. And this sweet Arlene, that sweet smile, she did something for me that I I can't thank her enough. She held my hand in those hands and she sat with me and talked with me after the group broke and everybody went to lunch. And I don't know what she did, but we gather around the same spiritual ideas. And I come from a different religious background, but the way that she was talking to me about Jesus, I got something that I got from her a few things, but one of them is her her love and her faith. And the way that she expressed faith was something that I hadn't experienced yet. And I hadn't connected it, or I hadn't been able to perceive it yet if I did see it. And it opened me to a whole set of ideas that I would have never without this woman. And that brings me to one time I went into retreat and I obviously didn't go to Sedona Winds, and then I came back and the activities director said, you know, who else should I check on? Sometimes she goes to get people who don't come on their own, she knocks on doors, and times and schedules aren't really so relevant at this point in life. And she said, and she's, asked me about my friends who's not here, who I want to see. And I said, where's Arlene? And she didn't wake up one morning. And that was that day. Um, she was 94. I think she had just celebrated her 94th birthday and had a family who had just been in town and was very close to her and loves her very much. Um, and a husband who she said was waiting for her on the other side. So um, yeah, it's a part of the experience. And I was just so grateful to have met this person who lived in such a wholesome integ with this integrity and and love. When someone loves you, you know it. And she loved me and I knew it. And it was a treasure. I mean, the impact that she made in my mind and my heart is priceless. And bigger. Um, and when I watched them walk, I can't help but think, what am I going to walk like in so many years? And it helps me enjoy walking the way that I do now, and standing up. And I don't like doing dishes, but I can do them by myself. And these small things, like, do you ever think about standing up from the toilet? Is that like, I, I'm so thankful that I can do that by myself. And the things that I get to not take for granted anymore. and appreciate because of my beautiful friends. I can't encourage you enough to figure out where the community, where the assisted elderly community is that's waiting to teach you is. Look them up, find them. If the first one you go to doesn't feel like a match, don't give up. Find one that's wonderful and a wonderful fit for you and keep going. Look at you. This is Lulu on the, I think it's on the right for you also. Um, she was so touched. She was in tears the whole time that we were there. She's just so happy and her big, beautiful heart. Um, and here I want to get to Gail, how much time do I have left?
Um, maybe another 5 minutes and then we can open it up.
Okay, then I want to see if I can get to, I never play bingo with them, but other people do. I want to get back to here because I want to talk about Mel and I want to talk about um, oh, this was so wonderful. Um, this woman, Anna, if you haven't met her, is a Ukrainian woman who now lives in Canada. And there's a group of beautiful Ukrainian women who were in town and they wanted to come. And each one shared her gifts. And Anna is a photographer, a professional photographer. And she showed them this wedding that she shot. And they were so delighted to see. Um, and and so painting is an activity that we do often, painting and just express yourself on paper. Of course, this is a very talented artist. I think her name is Anita. She's new to me. Um, but this is Mel, this man in the hat who I mentioned before. Um, And when we paint, sometimes he'll say, Jean and Gil, who are sitting opposite from each other, have been married for 75 years this month and live together in their assisted living. Um, you can see she drew a picture of herself, her mother, and her son. Okay, so here's Mel. And Mel's been telling me about this cat painting for a long time when we paint. And finally I went to his room, and that's Kuan Yin. That's his cat, Kuan Yin. And he was so happy and so proud of his painting, of his masterpiece and of his cat. And she sits right there as the centerpiece of his room. And um he'd been trying to get me to see it for a couple times already. And I went with him, and then when um when I got back to the main room, Shauna, the activities director, said to me, "You made his day." And that in the way that she communicated that, I understood just how sad and just how lonely Mel is. And well, I got it deeper. And he doesn't hear. So I know that I can't go and talk to him, but I got a deck of cards of playing cards, like you know, the translators. And so now I can go and play cards with him and spend some extra time with a very sad, very lonely man. Um, and just one other note that, you know, for the consciousness development, for the expansion of consciousness, um, something that happens in that room is say bye to my friends. I'm going to stop sharing. is that there's the the quality of perception in that room for me. I don't know if it's because they're old and slow or what brings it about.
Uh-oh, we just lost Savan. I'll let her know. Let me go back to multi-speaker. So Maria, I saw that you said you went to visit Sedona Winds in February. Can you share with us a little bit of your experience? What it was like? Savan is back. Maria, are you there? Anna wants to share. Go ahead, Anna. But you're interpreting. Okay. Oh, that Anna. Hello, Anna.
Конечно, я надеюсь. Hello, everyone. Я хочу поделиться, мне очень откликается эта встреча. Я месяц назад приехала в Израиль, репатриировалась в Израиль, и буквально через неделю я нашла работу с пожилыми людьми. Но я мечтала именно такую работу найти, и я ее нашла. Вот, и я работаю в должности Ракезет, это такой организатор, координатор проведения мероприятий, но в том числе моя была основная идея – это ввести Монтессори метод с пожилыми
But
людьми.
my idea was also to apply Montessori method for the elderly people.
Когда я приехала в Израиль,
And
ровно
when
через
I
неделю
arrived
я
in
оказалась
Israel,
в таком месте, ну вот в административном таком
and
корпусе, и я
and
сказала, что
I
я
ended
хотела
up in this
поволонтюрить. Это произошло
location
еще до того,
where I
как я
said like I
начала
would like to
работать.
volunteer,
Она
and
говорит,
it's
а что вы
began
хотите
before I
делать?
even
Я ей
started
говорю,
the
я
job.
хочу работать с
And they asked me,
пожилыми
what would you
людьми.
like to do? And I said, I would like to work with
Она
elderly
говорит,
people.
у
And she
нас как раз
said,
есть такой клуб
okay,
для
we
людей,
have
которые
this
пережили
club
Холокост.
for people who
И это
survive
первое, куда
Holocaust.
я попала. Я вот стала
And this is
работать
the
с этими
first group
людьми,
where I started to
волонтерить.
work
Это
with,
люди, которым минимум
volunteer
80
with
лет,
these
там есть
people.
люди 100 лет,
Minimum they 80 years old,
95,
they
и
have
я вот
95,
волонтерю,
100 years
работаю с
old,
ними
and I
вот
volunteer
раз в
as
неделю. А потом я
there
уже нашла
once a
работу и
week.
стала
And
работать
then later,
ракезом, вот
I
этим
found that
организатором. И вот что я хочу сказать.
organized a
Когда
job as an
я
organizer
слушала
for
эту
another
встречу, очень
organization.
сильно
And what I'd like to
откликается вот
share,
все, что
and I would
говорила
like to say that
наша
it's
лектор,
really resonate
очень
with me
замечательная.
everything
И
Savon said.
вот
Thank
мне
you so
очень
much, Savon, for your
откликнулась одна фраза,
presentation.
которую она
And I
сказала,
really,
что
really like
кажется,
one
что они
sentence that
похожи
Savon
на
said.
детей,
It seems
и это действительно так.
they look like
Но как
children, and
только
it's
они
true, they sometimes
что-то
feel like
начинают
children,
рассказывать,
but as soon as they
они
start telling the
совершенно
stories,
перестают быть
they
похожи на
absolutely
детей.
don't look like
Да.
children.
И
It's
вот это
true.
просто меня
And
поражает,
this really
насколько они
impresses me
все как отдельные
because
вселенные, то есть как
they
огромные
all, each of them, like
океаны
a separate
мудрости, каждый
universe,
из них,
like ocean of
вот, потому
wisdom,
что
each of
у
them,
каждого есть какое-то
because
наследие,
each
да,
of
какой-то
them
бэкграунд,
have
культура
some
и
kind
так
of
далее.
heritage and the
Вот.
story that they are
И
sharing with the world.
я бы хотела помогать вот в
And I would
этом
like to
дальше,
help
в нашем
in this
сообществе
field
развивать эту
further
тему. Я
in
готова со
our
своей stороны,
community and develop
если
this
нужно,
theme.
если будет
And
возможно
I'm ready
делиться
from
этим
my
опытом
side. And if there's opportunity, I would like to
слушайте.
share that
Я
as well.
благодарю за эту встречу.
And I'm really, really thankful for this meeting and for the experience and the videos that Sivan shared.
Maybe Savan, you can connect with Anna and you guys can start a bigger circle than what you each have right now. So before we lost you, you're muted. Before we lost you, do you remember what you were going to say?
I do. And I thought maybe I shouldn't say it because that it flashed out of the way before I could. So I will just close with saying that anybody here knows Geshe Michael? That's a question? No. Okay. So some teach that when we go to do something like going to the nursing home, when we take the handle of the door to turn the door to open and go inside, we should be thinking, I want to be like a virus, and that everybody who sees me, who is aware of me, doing this gets inspired to get what they want for themselves by taking care of people, by giving, sharing. And that's a beautiful moment. I said when I don't always come in a wonderfully heart open, wonderfully connected, expanded state of consciousness, but I always leave in one. And for me, a very powerful moment is walking out the door. And what I do with my mind when I walk out the door and the dedications that I make and the offerings that I make with the seeds that I just planted. And to me, that's a very whole, precious, cherished moment. And that's what I want to share with you.
Thank you so much. Are there are there other people here who work with elders in groups or individually, or with their family members, who would like to share any experiences with us in serving elders in your community? Natasha, but you're translating. I don't know how that works if you're translating. I can say for myself, and Savan knows this as well, and maybe others do as well. I serve one-on-one rather than in a group. And I started out with a volunteer group within my broader community, which covers about 30-kilometer radius or more. And I would go and take somebody grocery shopping or to the doctor or, to get their hair cut, people who were mostly in their homes. And that's how I started connecting with the elders in my community. It was through this volunteer group. And they would call me and say, oh, can you do this on this day? Can you help this person on this day? Can you help this person on this day? And I found that for me and my lifestyle, it didn't work so well because I need to have blocks of time to do other things. And so then I said, okay, how about just these two people? I take care of them. And they were like, yeah, that's fine with us. Thank you very much. And so that's what I began doing, was just serving two elders. And one passed away about 2 years into my serving them. And the other one is 93, and I still am serving her. And in fact, we're going out today to the bank and to look at new phones and probably go and look at some clothes. And again, we feel like sisters. I've been doing this for almost 6 years with her. And there's a trust, and you get to know each other as people. You're not just serving anybody anymore, or serving somebody. You're like serving the whole world through one person, right? And it's my parents have passed. So for me, it's a wonderful connection to have an older friend and to be able to just be who I am, and they can just be who they are with me. And it's not totally equal because I'm the one with the car and I'm the one with the eyes who can see, and I'm the one who can walk faster so I can run into the store and get something. And as Savan was saying, I think I profit so much more than my friend does. I mean, she is like, I can't thank you enough. And I'm like, I can't thank you enough. And so there's this lovely exchange. And I really encourage all of you, to just take a couple of hours once a month, once a week, whatever it is, to reach out to others who aren't as fortunate as you are. Because we do have things. We have feet, we have eyes, we have ears, and we can go read to people, we can take them shopping, we can alleviate loneliness and help people to feel like they're still worth something, which is all any of us really want, is to be seen and to be part of society, not, shut behind four doors all day long. So I really encourage you, and I'd love to hear if, we heard from Anna, others who are doing similar sorts of things in their communities or now feel inspired to do something in their community. And any other questions or discussions? Ludmilla, you too, I just saw this. Oh, you're also translating. We need to get some alternative translators. Also, Berta. So look, how many people on this call are working in their communities, right? I rejoice in that. Yeah, and let's all rejoice in that together. And how can we encourage and support each other? Would be my next question. And since it looks like the majority of people here are either recording or interpreting, those of you who are not interpreting, at least, those of you who are recording can chime in. Please share with us what you're doing, how we can support each other. Ooh, we get pictures. If everybody looks in the chat, Anna's showing pictures. Let me see if I can share them. I think I probably can. Here we go. This is her community. Do you see the second picture? So these would be the Holocaust survivors, I'm assuming.
No, it's people from nursing home in Ukraine.
From nursing home in Ukraine.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, that Anna. Thank you, Anna. There's two Annas here. See some familiar faces here. So it doesn't look very different, all around the world. It's kind of the same situation, right? And we have this incredible opportunity to be able to bring joy and inspiration and just to be able to help people be seen and be valued, which is really what we all want. Savan, please.
Yeah, that's a really excellent point that it didn't occur to me to share about is the having people feel important, like they matter, like they're not sent to a place that they don't really want to be and they're forgotten. They're um in the beginning when I first started going, something that lit me up and was like my lead in to want more of it was to see when somebody came into that room, they were kind of like numbed out, maybe like a zombie. Um, and through being together, they would come to life and they would come back to themselves and become alive and even sometimes smile. And a few of those smiles are burned into my mind. It's so beautiful to see that transition, and then for me to feel like, oh, I gave that to someone. That makes me feel really good about myself, that I helped someone be present and enjoy some more moments of life. Um, which isn't exactly worth, but it's one thing that came up when I heard that, giving them a sense of importance, sense of life.
Well, thank you, Savan, so much. And both Anna's and Berta and Anastasia and Natasha, all who, have been working or relating with elders. Oh, Anna from Ukraine wants to share more. Can you do that while you're translating? Let's see that big smile on your face.
No, it's Anna from Israel. We just want to share more. I just translated her message.
Oh, okay, thank you. It says, I continue to keep in touch and follow the
Продолжаем поддерживать связь и наблюдать за развитием социальных сетей и патронажей службы. Она создала службу в Санкт-Петербурге, когда заболела ее мама.
You were on the English channel, I think, Natasha, because I'm on the English channel and I heard you. I continue to keep in touch and follow the development of social media and the nursing service. I created the nursing service in St. Petersburg when her mother fell ill. That's fantastic. So many ways we can serve our communities, right? So many ways. And we don't even have to go to nursing homes. we can just do it in our everyday life with everybody we meet, whatever the opportunity is, to help them feel seen, to give them a little joy, and that's our job in the world, right? To bring that to the world, because this world definitely needs more of it. Yeah. So thank you everyone for being those flowers, the seeds of the flowers being spread on the wind around the world. And we love to hear from you in the Telegram group if some more ideas come up, or if you have some questions, or if we can help you to create something in your own community. Let us know. We would love to be able to do that. That's why we're here, is to be able to support those kinds of initiatives in your communities around the world. So thank you. And next week, Anjali will be hosting our Blue Sky Friends meeting. And then I believe the week after that, we also have a special guest. So stay tuned. Those are the 3 weeks in June, the 3 Fridays in June, same place, same time. And look forward to seeing you in July and hopefully hearing from you on the Telegram groups, which I do look at. So thanks for being here this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world. And let's keep making the world a better place. And thank you, Savan, so much for sharing your experience at Sedona Winds and inspiring us. Yeah. Thanks. The full gallery on. There we go. So I can see everybody's face.